Hey everyone, welcome back, and oh my god, we hit 1,000 subs. Like, what the hell? You guys are so amazing, and I'm so honored and proud to be in a spot where I can share what I've learned with you. But I won't get too mushy-gushy on you right now. Today, we're going to be covering items in a Survivor's pack that I find to be afterthoughts. Not afterthoughts in that they aren't important, but in that when I'm trying to free up room in my pack, I check these areas last as they usually have less impact. Those areas being firewood, medicine or first aid, and crafting materials. Also, at the end, I want to discuss hydration for a little bit. But first, before we dive in, I must mention another error that I made. Quick spoiler warning that this video will contain content from Tales from the Far Territory. Someone pointed out to me that I forgot the new survival knife in the last video. Let's cover that real quick. The survival knife is a knife that weighs 0.75 kilograms, as much as the improvised knife, and tying for the heaviest knife. But it has the fastest frozen carcass harvesting time. It deals less damage than the cougar knife in struggles, but more than the hunting knife. Due to its additional weight, I believe you should only choose this knife if you expect to need to harvest a lot of frozen carcasses, but beyond that, my advice from the previous video still stands with knives. Alrighty, let's do this thing. Starting with firewood. How does one determine if and how much firewood they need to bring? I'm a huge proponent of grab it on the go firewood when you can, with the reason for that being that if you grab all the fuel on the go when you need it, and then burn it soon after, your net weight gain should be 0, as you will have burned all the fuel that you grabbed. But this tactic very much depends on the difficulty you're playing in and where you are traveling to. I'm going to cover this in 3 sections: Pilgrim/Voyager, Stalker, and Interloper/Misery. For Pilgrim/Voyager, you will never, ever need to carry backup firewood at all. And this is because of one key mechanic in these difficulties. In Pilgrim and Voyager, fires overwrite the ambient air temperature, meaning that your survivor could have a feels-like temperature of negative 60 degrees Celsius, and all you need is one stick providing 1 degree Celsius of heat to start a fire that will make your survivor have a feels-like temperature of 1 degree, which will be warming them up already. Since you should always have access to an abundance of sticks while traveling, you can always just grab a couple off the ground and start a fire to warm up. You have no need to ever carry any extras with you. For Stalker, if you are traveling to a region with a lot of indoor areas, you should be able to leave all firewood behind and treat it similarly to Pilgrim/Voyager. If you're going to need a fire soon while traveling, start to grab every stick that you see. Since each stick provides 1 degree Celsius of heat, you only need to grab as many sticks as you are degrees under 0 Celsius to stop losing temperature. After that, each one you grab will just warm you up a little faster. Now, if you're traveling where there won't be a lot of indoor areas, I would recommend bringing some backup firewood. The idea here is to bring enough firewood to boost 3 fires to a warming temperature. You don't need to worry about how long that fire will last because you can use the grab on the go tactic to get sticks to pad out the fire length. Your best fuel choices for this are going to be reclaimed wood, which gives you 12 degrees Celsius or 53.6 degrees Fahrenheit per kilogram, cedar wood, which is also 12 degrees Celsius or 53.6 degrees Fahrenheit per kilogram, and of course coal with 66.6 degrees Celsius or 151.9 degrees Fahrenheit per kilogram. When choosing which of these is the best for your scenario, remember that reclaimed wood isn't a resource that is renewable and can be used in some crafting, and coal is a rarer fuel source. Knowing this, look at your situation and choose what fuel to bring. My personal choice being just 3 chunks of coal when possible. Each chunk weighs 0.2 kilograms, so 3 of them will cost 0.6. If you need to pad out the time of your fire, then employ the grab it on the go method for a couple minutes before starting the fire to grab a bunch of sticks, which will stretch the fire time a good deal. Now, Interloper/Misery. This game is very different in these difficulties, as things can go from peachy keen to lethal at any moment. Because of that, I would recommend bringing the 3 fires of backup fuel that we just talked about for Stalker when traveling to safer areas with many indoor zones. Never leave your safe house without some warm, weight-efficient backup fuel. If you're heading somewhere without those safe places, like Hush River Valley or Ash Canyon, I would bring 5 fires of backup fuel, and grab on the go every fuel source you can find. You'll be needing fires a lot in these areas, and if you ever have enough sticks to preserve your warmer fuel, then do it, as you shouldn't have any problem with finding more sticks. You will end up carrying a lot of weight and sticks with this method, as you should be grabbing every single one you find, but they will get burned soon, or in the event that they don't, you can always just drop them and grab more later. So a quick recap. In Pilgrim and Voyager, you don't need to take any firewood with you out of your safe house, ever. Just go full grab on the go tactic. In Stalker, you should be fine with grab on the go in safer regions, but will want to take 3 fires worth of backup fuel in riskier regions like Hush River Valley. In Interloper/Misery, the world is harsh and cold. Never leave without 3 fires of backup for emergencies. Grab on the going for extra fire time. And in harsher regions, bring 5 fires for backup and grab every stick you find on the way. It's better to have more heat than you need than to freeze to death. Alrighty, let's talk medicine. When you go anywhere on Great Bear, you need to have some first aid with you to cover your rear. You'll need bandages, disinfectant, and antibiotics. But what's the best option for this? Starting with bandages, the best option is, yep, you guessed it, bandages. Each bandage weighs 0.1 kilograms, and you can make 2 more from a single piece of cloth. I recommend taking about 3 to 5 bandages with you depending on how long the journey is. This is in the event of sprained ankles or any dangerous afflictions like blood loss. How about disinfectant? Our options here are Old Man's beard dressing and antiseptic. Beard dressing weighs 0.1 kilograms for each treatment, as does antiseptic. However, antiseptic comes in bottles that are 0.7 kilograms heavy, providing several treatments but far less customizable in weight. You could carry around a bottle of antiseptic as it will last you a long time and lose weight as you use it. But if you need to shred off some more weight and have beard dressings to spare at your disposal, bringing 2 or 3 beard dressings is all you need. You'll save up to 4 to 5 kilograms of room when comparing it to an antiseptic bottle, and you can always collect and make more dressings as you travel. Now for antibiotics. Our options are basic antibiotics, reishi tea, and burdock tea. The best option here weight-wise is going to be a basic bottle of antibiotics with one bottle weighing 0.1 kilograms and providing 3 treatments. However, the teas, which are also 0.1 kilos for only 1 treatment, also provide you with a massive hydration bonus, which I'm going to go over later with the hydration stuff. So if you want to save room on water that you pack, then you can definitely bring some tea. Now let's talk about some luxury first aid items. I want to talk about the energy drink, emergency stim, canister, and painkillers. Energy drinks are never a must-have in my eyes, but if you're taking a path with a lot of rope climbs or any other high fatigue drain obstacles, it's very nice to have an energy drink in case you need a final surge to make it up something like a rope climb. Energy drinks also do provide a bit of hydration as well. Emergency stims can save your life if you're too fatigued to outrun a wolf or have to get up a long rope climb to get to safety. I recommend always having 1 to 2 on you in case of emergency. The canister is a very situational item. As far as I'm aware, it is only helpful in 2 areas, the mine in Black Rock and the zone of contamination. Unless you're going to one of those locations, you won't need to carry a canister ever. Finally, painkillers. Painkiller options in the Quiet Apocalypse are basic painkillers and rosehip tea. The most common use for painkillers is going to be pain from sprains or a headache. These afflictions don't do anything to your survivor other than make the peripherals of your screen a bit blurry and cause sound to swell. So if you can ignore that, then you won't need painkillers for those. The other 2 uses are for broken ribs and burns, which are a bit more severe. Burns need 1 dose of painkillers, and broken ribs need 2 doses. Basic painkillers are 0.03 kilograms per dose. Rosehip tea is 0.1 kilograms per dose, so a fair bit heavier, but like before, they also provide a lot of hydration, so if you leave behind enough water to compensate for that weight, you could certainly use teas. Because burns and broken ribs won't begin to heal until you've treated them, you should definitely bring some painkillers with you, even if you don't bother using them for pain afflictions. I recommend bringing at least 3 doses of your painkiller choice on any journey, and 6 if you prefer to treat pain afflictions. All other first aid items, like vitamin C pills or caffeine pills, stuff like that, is entirely up to you and if you want to spare room to take them with you. Now it's time for crafting materials. This is going to be a very quick section here. You generally don't need to bring any crafting materials other than cloth, cured leather, and metal scrap on a trip. All hides, arrowheads, saplings, etc. should be left behind because you shouldn't be crafting anything while traveling because it requires you to carry a lot of material weight. If repairs with those materials need to be made, make them before you leave instead of hauling them with you. Now you rarely need to carry scrap metal with you unless you're headed to a forge, milling machine, or repairing a transmitter. As for cloth and cured leather, I personally recommend that you should repair any clothing below 75% condition before leaving, and then bring 3 of both cured leather and cloth with you in case of any emergency repairs that you need to make. The cloth also helps in case you run out of bandages and you need to make some in an emergency. Beyond that, you shouldn't need to carry any other materials with you unless the trip you're taking is specifically for crafting. Before we close out this video, let's discuss hydration. In the first video in this series, I didn't factor hydration effects into the tier listing of the travel foods. One reason for this is dehydration can be nullified by eating those foods when you're already at 0% hydration. But the biggest reason for this is once again the grab on the go method. From the last video, we have established that you should always carry some tool to melt water with you. And, so long as you have an active fire, you can make water with you wherever you want, and also have another slot on the fire to place anything you want to cook while you wait for the water. So I usually bring 1 liter of water with me whenever I leave for a trip, because I know that I'll have a fire eventually, and I can grab more water then. Now let's look at teas. Strictly from a hydration perspective, as opposed to a medicine perspective, all teas weigh 0.1 kilograms and restore 30% of your hydration. The same as sodas, but with 0.15 kilograms less weight. If you were to drink tea from 0% hydration, you could reach 100% with 0.33 kilograms of tea as opposed to the 0.66 kilograms of water. So if you feel comfortable with using teas for hydration and possibly forfeiting their medical value, then you could definitely bring teas to half the weight of water that you bring with you. That's it for this one. Thank you all so much once again for getting us to 1,000 subs. I really can't believe it. In just 5 days, we have hit this huge landmark as a community, and I promise I'll do everything I can to help you all feel like it's worth it. We're getting really close to getting me to be able to be monetized, and that is not somewhere I ever thought I'd be able to get. I'm so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you. I'm recording this on Christmas, so Merry Christmas to all of you guys. As always, if I missed anything or got anything wrong in this video, please let me know. The integrity of what I tell you is very important to me, and I will see you guys in the next one.